Hello and welcome to Medieval Dynasty. Well, we're now into the last day of spring, and well, yeah, we've just learned that Uniegost down here in Gostovia is the one who actually killed our Uncle Alwin. We weren't even aware that he actually had been killed until we came across Kestrel and his medic, so we need to go and have a bit of talk with this castellan who just conveniently happens to have taken over the job of our Uncle Aidan, because he was the castellan before. Although I'm a bit suspicious now that I've heard some of this background from Kestrel about him. He doesn't sound anything as like he started out as, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Uniegost says. Now, on the other hand, I do have an outstanding quest with Alwin here, because he wants us to get him a recurve bow. He'll then go back to doing hunting, so he'll work with Gisela basically. But yeah, he'll end up leaving the actual valley and he'll be off on his own. So that'll be interesting. But the question is, how do we get a recurve bow? Because I was having a look at the technology, and if I go down to under survival, in the hunting lodge, we could make our own recurve bow, but it's going to cost us 1,500. For the actual schema. So that seemed a bit pricey. I mean, I've got about 850. I've been selling various bits and pieces off, but yeah, we don't have the money to do that. So I'm actually tempted to take a bit of a detour, see if I can buy one of these actual recurve bows from someone else. I think there's, as far as I recall, there's a smith over in Lesnica who could probably get us one. I don't know if the hunter in Tutki sells them, because I don't remember seeing anything like that with Gisela over in Lesnica, but there was a smith, for example. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to tell, to be honest, where, on the other hand, we could actually ask our other half.
How is life treating you?
Fine, thanks. Oh, your affection's at 69%. It's stabilised. That's an improvement anyway. Before it was going down, so that was never good. So I do need to get her another gift to try and cheer up a bit more. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. So where can I find benders for, let's say, hunting? Lesnar and Tutki. So I think it's worth having
Have a good day.
Yep, I'll try to. I think it's worth stopping off over at Tutki first, because then I'll be able to get two of these. If there's, if the hunter over there does actually sell recurve bows, then I could be able to go and see Uniegost and Alwin at the same time. And I think that'll finish both of those storyline quests. Right, better get going then. Right then, so there's Rajmund over there. Now he sells hunting things. He's a hunter.
You have returned.
Yeah, I have. I'm here to try and buy something, but I don't know how much it's going to cost. Even if you've got it.
Wares.
Oh, well, that's not bad, actually. That's a lot less than I thought. I was expecting to pay something like 800 for one of these things, to be honest. In which case, I'm going to buy that. Yeah, why not?
It was nice seeing you.
Okay. Right. Well, that's just made my day, because now the plan is we're going to go over to Gostovia. We're going to try and get both of these quests finished off, because I think that's pretty much it as far as they go. So, onwards to Gostovia. Right then, so we've made it over to Gostovia. I think that's Uniegost there. But I think what we'll do is we'll have a chat with Alwin first. So there you go. Here's your recurve bow. Yeah, it's easy enough. Just go look for this big fur rug that's walking around in the forest. Yeah, that's where I pretty much found one. Except it was slightly northwest, but never mind. Yeah, absolutely. You'll have fun. I certainly did. Exactly. And you're going to do it today. That's what I like the attitude. You said you're going to do it today. Oh, okay. And that's it. That's the end of the story for Alwin. He's completely finished. He's no longer going to be doing any work in the fields. So he's actually given us his tools. So he's given us an iron hoe and an iron scythe. So that's really cool. I found that along the way in a cart, but yeah, that's it. So he's gonna go off and just be a hunter. Anywho, next we need to go and speak to Uniegost and find out what the heck went wrong. You would have to be sitting in the dark, wouldn't you? So I've got to discuss this in public with you. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Well, that is true. Yep, strict but fair. Yeah, trouble is it's still kind of it's a difficult decision. Yeah, I think you do. No, let's get the reality here. What exactly happened? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Come on, out with it. Okay, but you've been withholding the truth, haven't you? Exactly. See, I admit it. You're the castellan, how can you not? I'm curious. I don't think he necessarily wanted to be the castellan. I mean, was it because of... Yeah, was it because of Kestrel? But that kid was yours, though. And that's got to be like, yeah, that's another reason. Yep. So you didn't know. Okay. Well, greed. That's usually a good enough reason. Figure of speech. Hang on a minute, you killed him though. Okay. Well, jealousy then. Okay, so you're somebody who stands in the shadows and... Yeah, I'll explain, because everybody else left except you. So why did you kill him then? Then why did you kill him? It just doesn't make sense. So you know about that? No, yes, they all knew he killed this man. That's why everybody but Uniegost left. Yeah, I must admit that is a challenge that should bother people. You should be bothered if you kill somebody. Yeah, I must admit that's the personality I'm picking up as somebody who... He had like little everything was a project. It was an experiment, and after a while he grew tired of them, including Kestrel, as we found out. Yeah, the last little mission was something he did on his own, and look what that got them. Ah, so somehow he managed to persuade the king to make him castellan. Okay. So he drifted. Oh dear. What? Oh, that is bad. It became the worst thing possible. The very thing he was trying to stop. Yeah, so what happens now then? So, I mean, I can't really go with option 2 because so I could start off with Jordan was, I mean, he set off on this sort of like little mission that he'd built up to deal with people who were pretty nasty individuals who were making other people's lives a misery and benefiting from it. He'd become the worst thing possible, very thing himself. So I can understand why he did what he did. Well, when I say Uniegost, I mean, I can understand why he did it. I mean, he hasn't lied. Yes, I don't think he has. I mean, he's been very clear because the medic said his throat was cut. Kestrel actually said that, you know, she mentioned about him killing this man, something he'd never do, because if you go back to the start, he went to a lot of trouble just to get that man, that lord, arrested. He didn't want to get him hung. He came up with this sort of seriously clever plan to get him put away, but not to actually get him killed. Think of what he's become, or had become, I should say. So 1 or 3 then. In some ways, you think he deserves a punishment. 3 says he's punishable by death. That's tricky because you've either got to tell him to leave the valley, you've got to tell him he's banished, you've either got to tell him he's got to die, or you've got to get him home. Yeah, that's a real doozy, that one. But is it punishable by death? That's a thing. It's like, in a way, I mean, if he was in league, if Jordan was in league with the king, it might never have got resolved. It might have stayed like that forever by the sounds of it, because he only got to be castellan by going to see the king, and then he was in the good graces of it. So it's like, it's right, it's a very grey area. So I'm very reluctant to go down that line or that line. It's either of these two, I think. Yeah, I can't really go with that one because I understand what he did. So I think it'll be up for me. It's option 1.
I never had a chance to meet my uncle, to judge his character on my own. But I got to know you, Uniegost. And though I do not condone your actions, I understand the reasons. To be a man is not to never err, but to make hard decisions when they are necessary. You made yours. And it's something you will need to live with for the rest of your life. As will I.
Yeah, that's a thought. So I wonder what happens now, because technically he's banished. He's no longer the castellan. Anywho, that's all that finished now. We'll finish the chapter, we'll finish the story, so really the only thing left is going to be going around doing side quests, possible herald quests, because I know there's stuff for the for the king, for example. Every now and again a herald shows up. Now where are we at in terms of getting things done? So building technology is almost at 2500. And I do need to keep expanding. Still a ways to go before we get further on that. There's no particular rush, I must admit, on that one. There's nothing specifically jumps out as to what I need. Ooh! Oh, cool! We can now build a stable. The only downside, though, it's going to cost me about 10,000 to buy 2 horses, by the looks of it. As there's no real incentive to buy a stable and to build a stable until I can actually afford the horses, quite frankly. But that's great because it's now opened that option up. Then we'll get into things like the fold, cowshed, the apiary. No, I'm not too fussed about those two. Then here, I mean, I can start expanding, start improving some of the buildings. So there's a smithy 2, workshop 2. I'm not too far off sewing hut 2. Good ways off being able to get the market stall. Oh, the tavern. 10,000 for a tavern. Just think of how slow this is going at the moment. So you need to do a lot of crafting and cooking. So I think that's what I might start doing. Actually, when can I start the mine? The mine's about 5,000, isn't it? Yeah. Screw the builders for 7,500. Jeez Louise, that's going to take forever. So yeah, still a ways to go. So I think what I might do is, I think I might head back and then start replacing these buildings, start upgrading them. Because you can't, well, I say upgrade them, you can't literally upgrade buildings like this. You've literally got to rip them down and rebuild, new ones. And that'll do something to boost the building technology. But yeah, that's quite a milestone. Well, we're now into the summer, because overnight I actually built this tier 2 smithy. So it doesn't actually give us access to anything more, just because when it comes to the smithy you get everything straight away. So you get access to the forge, the anvil, that workbench over there anyway. But it allows you to have more people in there. So I mean, I've been out and about and I've been preparing the place, and I was about to get started with the workshop over there when I thought, well, yeah, that morale, when we had that morale drop, I mean, that was quite a shock, I must admit. I mean, who knows, I might actually get, you might get something similar. It could actually be worse than what we got. I mean, we're into a new season and everybody's morale is starting to go back up. But yeah, I think when it comes to expansion, it's probably about time I started putting these people into the big houses, because it was people who were in the big houses or in the stone houses seem to cope better with that. Because they get a lot more morale to start with. So I think that's the plan then. I'm going to build a small house, probably over there where the barn used to be. I'll move the blacksmith out, then I'll tear down his house. And I'm just going to build him a completely new big house, then I'll move him in. Then what I can do is start working on the cook over there. But what I might do is, it depends, because the houses, I mean, you can see one over there, they're pretty big. I'll have to find a way, because I'm probably a good way away from being able to build a tier 2 kitchen. Yeah, I'm quite a ways off building a tier 2 kitchen, but even if I can get her a new house, I can rip that house down at the very least. Potentially. Whether I can fit in the kitchen as well or not, I don't know, but I think I'm going to do it that way. Make sure I've got everybody a new big house. And then we'll have a lot more morale. But one of the key reasons I want to do it is because we're doing pretty well on building technology. We're not too far off that milestone there to get a tier 2 woodshed, and that'll get me more people who can then go out and get you more logs, more firewood, more well, don't really need more sticks, but basically I can put more people into the woodshed to do that sort of work. But that's what I'm really aiming for. So if I'm going to start building these much bigger buildings, more expensive ones, that should get me more XP, because that's what it's about, extraction. I'm going to have to chop down a lot of trees, gather a lot of stone to be able to do this sort of stuff. So it's quite an incentive to do it, but it's going to take me a long time. And if all I do is just rip out that workshop and then put another one in its place, the tier 2, yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult trying to fit big houses in next to them. But you don't have to necessarily do it that way. I mean, I'm just doing it for the sake of keeping people close to their homes, to be honest. So yeah, see, that's going to take me quite a while. I'm going to be really busy. Well, believe it or not, I just managed to make it back to the house with just seconds to spare before I got moved from the actual winter into spring, and that's literally how long it's taken me. I've been doing a lot of building and it's taken forever and a day. There's so many resources to gather for these big houses. But anyway, yeah, we're now just about to go into spring and got this event. So our decisions are about this neighbouring war, so I'm going to look at it as a positive thing. There's a possibility to make some money out of this, so I'm going to go with option 1. Oh dear. Oh well, it is what it is. Right, so we're now into spring. I'll just show you where we're at. So I'm just going to get out of these furs. I think that's pretty much. Oh, the gloves I may as well take off as well. So, right over there, I've been basically rebuilding, because the plan was to try and replace everybody's so like small houses with big houses. I can see already there's already been some damage done. Yeah, the excavation hut's got some damage. But what I've been doing, as you can see, we've got all of these big houses now. But I'm still not finished, and we're into spring already. So it's like, yeah, that took a long time. I mean, one thing I noticed was I was just a bit short on production technology. So I did quite a bit of crafting and quite a bit of, you know, for like cooking and tools and what have you. I've been making some like bronze knives, for example. Doing quite a bit of mining just to get the production technology over the line. So, I mean, we're actually at the point where I'm at about over 3,000 points in building technology. So we're actually not that far off now, I feel, before I get into mining. I probably will by the time I get everything finished. I'm not too fussed about the survival technology. Not a great deal I need out of those at this stage. Farming technology, oh crikey, we're almost at 2,500. So we're almost at the point where we can start getting sheep. But yeah, I'm almost at 1,000 production technology now. So I was just a bit short. I think I was about something like 738. So I did quite a bit of production. So that's basically crafting items and cooking, so I could get a tier 2 sewing hut. Because I had to move everything around because these houses are much bigger, as you can see. So what I've had to do in the end, I had to make some extra houses. And I couldn't fit a big house on that end there. So that's what I'm planning to do, is build a big house there. And I'm going to pretty much make this just like the end of the village. That's the plan. Once I get that big house done, it'll free one of these spares up. Now, over on the edge, I had a bit of a think, because I've put up a big house for our water carrier over there, the one who's looking after the well. But as you can see, we don't have a house built for the person who's doing the excavation hut. So I thought, well, since there's a lot of rocks over there to mine, and that's where Bolomir is going to, I think what I'll do is I'll build her house over there, and I'll rebuild the excavation hut there as well. And then what I'll do is I'm going to build another house over there for the... It's Gunther. No, it's not Gunther, it's Gundolf, that's it. He's Gundolf the Grey, as I like to call him. So I'm going to build his house over there as well, because he's doing the fishing over there. So that basically it'll free up, I think it's about 3 houses it'll free up doing that. And then the plan is after that, I think I'll start building, once I get to that, I mean I think I need 2,500 in production technology before I can build market stalls. So I'm a good way off being able to build them. But I'm thinking of making that. I think I might have like a bit of a cluster of them around here once we get the technology to do it. I think the 4x4, but I'm going to wait until I actually get them, because I want to make use of those. And then I think what I'll do is for the animal breeders, I'll build them a big house, and I'll build their actual, pen, the animal pen next to where they actually live. So it'll make this a bit of a tidier area. All of this section, all of this needs just completely rebuilding, because we're into tier 2 resource storage and food storage. I may as well rebuild their houses. So that's like the hunter, the herbalist, and the lumberjack, for example. But what I'm really interested in knowing is how much is the taxes going to cost. So we need about close to 5,000 in taxes, because the actual cost of houses, these houses I've got, I'm paying 38 for a house now as opposed to 13. We've got much bigger fields, and they're costing about 64 each. We don't get taxed. Oh wow, I'm up to 10 geese. Crikey. Some of those, so like I think that one there, for example, I can sell that one off, and I'm going to get 700 for that. So yeah, I'll sell that one off. So the females will still carry on producing eggs, for example. But I've got quite a few males I can see there, so once they mature, I'll sell them off. Pigs, okay, well, I'll keep her, because she'll help with the breeding program. So it's taken like 4 years for these to breed, but no further forward with the chickens for whatever reason. That could take a while. So yeah, there's tons of stuff there, but I can see I'm going to need a lot of, as I say, a lot of money to pay for this taxes. Now, I do have quite a lot of flax because of the bigger flax field. Because really what I want to do is, well, it's a case of, we went to all that trouble with the farming, and we're almost at the point of being able to get the sheep, but it's the stable. So I actually want to have enough money. I need close to about 9,000 probably to pay for two foals. Once I've got that money, I'll get a stable built, and I'll build it over there, because at night when you go to bed, the horse goes to the stable, so it would make my life a bit easier, to be honest, than having to keep coming over here. But then that'll mean I'll need somebody to look after the horses, but the horses, I can sell them as well, so there's a lot to do, I must admit, but we're really making good progress, I must admit, on this. So I mean, 3,200, yeah, I mean, not all that far when you think about how much I've got to do for building. For extraction and building, all those things I'm doing is contributing to this, so yeah, it shouldn't take too long before I'll even be able to afford them, to actually be able to make the mine, and then I can assign people to actually work in the mine rather than me doing it, for example. And other than that, I'd say it's probably the market stall that's more of interest as well after that. Other than that, we're into more animals, for example, but we're long way off, like the builder's hut, for example. I mean, that's a useful thing for someone who can repair things, but yep, the main chapters may be finished, but there's a lot to do. That's all for another episode.